Hey, it's your friend SJ, and welcome to the Wellness and Wellies podcast. Hey friend, how are you? We are in March, which is very exciting, and I'm sure you have probably noticed that the days are getting that little bit longer. We're getting a bit more light in the mornings, it's not quite so dark, and it does make life a bit easier when you are thinking about incorporating some more exercise, some more fitness into your daily routine. And that's what today's episode really is about, is my thoughts on whether the best thing to do is to work out at home or whether you should join a gym if you're thinking about increasing your exercise and adding a bit more movement to your day-to-day routine. Now, before I dig into that, I thought I would just share with you a little bit about what's going on here right now. So we have recently moved and we are in an area of the UK called Shropshire. And I do think where you live really impacts your decision as to whether you are going to be joining a gym or not. Because if you live in a part of the world where you get more sunshine and the weather's warmer and it's just more pleasant to be outside, then I reckon it's probably going to be easier for you to do your workouts at home, to do some running, to do some exercise without necessarily needing to have a gym membership. And the reason that I say this is because I was debating over the last couple of weeks whether or not to join a gym or to kind of ride it out and do the workouts at home, which I still always do, and whether I should sort of hang on and wait for the weather to turn so that I could get out on my bike and maybe do a bit more running. And I was contemplating the idea of getting a Peloton. And if you have a Peloton, I would love to hear your thoughts on it, or what other kind of like bike, cycling kind of machine do you use if you have one at home, and do you actually use it? And I'm going to circle back to this idea about the weather because I have a really good friend called Michelle. She's been on this podcast before actually. And she lives in California, and she was saying to me about how much she loved her Peloton. But one of the things she found is because she lives in quite a nice warm part of the world, is that she actually found she wasn't using it as much as she thought she would because the weather's pretty good. And she was quite happy to get up and go for a run and go and walk outside. And it really got me thinking when we're sort of making this decision about whether or not we should join a gym, because there's a lot of pressure of, go to a gym, and we have these huge high expectations. But actually, I think before we sort of hand over our money and pay out a membership fee, I think we need to be realistic with ourselves. Do we need a gym membership? Have you got time for a gym membership? And of course, can you afford it? So I'm going to touch on those three things, and I'm going to start with the finances of a gym membership first. So let's talk about the cost of a gym membership. So if you're thinking to yourself, right, I definitely want to improve the amount of exercise that I do, and you're thinking, okay, is the way for me to do that to join a gym? So let's think about the cost implications first of all. Now, gym membership can vary so much. If you're outside of the UK, I'm sure it's probably very similar to us. So we have gyms that can cost £15 a month here, up to a couple of £100 a month. And what you get for your money looks very different. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So there's a company here called Anytime Fitness, and you can go into a gym and you can probably pay under £20 a month. And the gyms are kind of open 24/7. You can walk in, scan your card, go into the gym, use the gym whenever you want to. The facilities are really basic. And you haven't really sort of got a lot of guidance and structure and support. There aren't a huge amount of classes, but it's very much if you're on a budget and you just want to have access to a gym because you feel, that's something that you need, then I think that can be quite good value for money. But the cautionary tale I have with that process is that you will find that you will probably have to sign some kind of disclaimer to say that you're not going to sue them because they're not actually going to show you how to use the equipment. And if you are a new gym goer, whilst it might look appealing because it's really affordable, the question I have for that is, do you know what you're doing in the gym? Are you safe in the gym? Are you using the right technique? Are you using the right exercises? Is it actually going to be more harmful to you than good? And I think if you are somebody who really, needs some support, if you're new to working out, if perhaps you've got an injury or you've got maybe your knee's a bit dodgy or something, you're probably going to want to be in an environment that is actually a bit more supportive than that situation. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, in the UK, we've got gyms, for example, like David Lloyd. Now, David Lloyd is more of a health club, and gym membership there probably costs the best part, it costs the best part of £100. But what you're buying there is quite a different experience. You're buying the fact that you can walk into the gym and they give you a towel, and you have a lot of access to a lot of equipment. You're going to have some kind of induction. You can probably have a 6 weekly check-in. There's more staff moving around the gym and you can go to them for advice. They can give you a bit of a basic program and you can check back in with them. You've got the ability to hire a personal trainer in those kind of environments for an additional cost. You've probably got access to a swimming pool, jacuzzis. You've probably got access to tennis courts and badminton courts, that kind of thing. So if you're sort of somebody who's looking for something that's a bit more social, or an environment that has a lot more fitness classes, and is somewhere where that you are going to get the support that you need if you're new to the gym, I think you need to be looking more towards that kind of health club atmosphere, because that's where you're going to get more support. And you're going to probably find more of a community and that sort of setup. And you're going to be able to sort of have a bit more support in the gym. You're going to get an induction. You're going to get shown how to use the equipment properly. And they'll probably give you a really basic workout that you can use and you can follow quite easily. So I think gym wise, what you've got to think about is, how much do you want to spend? Because obviously there's quite a difference in terms of cost. Are you going to get value for money? If you're thinking that you're only going to go to the gym once a week or something, then spending £100 a month is probably not going to be the best option. And then you also need to be thinking about your own safety. If you are somebody who isn't experienced at fitness, this is your first kind of steps into the world of gym membership, then I think although the more affordable options are often more appealing, I think actually to kind of maintain that sort of consistency, you're probably going to find that you're going to need to spend a bit more money and probably be part of more of a health club style setup than if you were just paying a single £20 a month sort of membership. Where these affordable, open 24/7 kind of gyms come in, I think those kind of setups can be quite helpful if you need to get out of the house. And also if you're somebody who is quite experienced in the gym and you are quite disciplined to go on a regular basis. And if you have that kind of discipline, you know what you're doing, you're knowledgeable enough, or perhaps you're going to the gym and you've downloaded a workout on your phone, you can follow that, then that can be quite a good setup for you that's pretty affordable. But I think when we're talking about money, I think what we're actually thinking about is, are you going to be consistent with it? What do you need to ensure that you're going to be consistent and you're going to go to the gym on a regular basis and you're going to get the most out of the money that you're spending? Now, for me personally, when I was living in Dorset, where we've just moved from, I was spending quite a bit of money each month on gym membership, because for me, the gym is the kind of place where I go, I hang out, I get to know people, Chloe was in the gym with me. She had a gym membership. We went swimming a lot. They had like an outdoor swimming pool. It was really sort of quite a key place in my life. It was more than me turning up to do a workout. It was the place where, we'd go after school and she'd, like we could go and have some food, we could go and meet people. It was a really sort of like social experience, which is why for me, actually, I felt that I was really getting my money's worth, because they were putting on a lot of like extra activities for kids. It was a real kind of community thing. There were so many different options when it came to classes. You could always find something that was going to be on at some time of the day. And there was a lot of equipment, there was a lot of space, there was a lot of people around. It was a really, really good option for me. And one of the biggest challenges I faced actually since we moved here is that there is only one option when it comes to the gym. And this particular gym is like run by the local council, the local authority. So it's quite affordable, sort of like 35, 40, up to £50 a month. It's got a swimming pool. It's an okay environment. It's kind of like mid-range, it's clean, it's tidy. But for me, it's not quite hitting the mark. Like, it hasn't got that sense of community that I had being part of these slightly more expensive health clubs. It hasn't got like somewhere where I can go and sit down and drink a cup of coffee with some friends after a fitness class. It's, it's functional, it does what it needs, but I wanted, and I feel that what I'm looking for at the moment is somewhere where I can go, where I can start to build like more friendships. I can get to know people. And this was sort of like the debate that I had when we moved here was, am I going to join this gym? Is it going to be worth my money? Am I going to go there? Am I going to use it enough? And I wanted to join a gym actually because it was somewhere where I was going to have an opportunity to meet people and get to know people in my local area who were interested in the same kind of things as me. So, spoiler alert, like I did join the gym and it cost me £30 to join and it's like £35 a month to go. And, I've been there so far. I've had my membership a week. I've been there once. And I do always do my at-home workouts. I do those pretty much every single day. If you ever see me on social media before, you've probably seen me doing that. And I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to give this gym a try. I'm going to give it a go for a couple of months and I'm going to see how I get on, because ultimately the reason I'm doing it is because I want to try and get to know people. I'm trying to meet people in a local area. But I'm not convinced by this like council set up gym, because when I joined, I had to sign a waiver to say that I'm not going to sue them. Nobody showed me how to use any equipment in that gym. And obviously I'm a personal trainer. I know what I'm doing. But as somebody who's new, who isn't familiar with the gym, who perhaps maybe finds the gym intimidating, it really didn't make that process easy for people. And I really worry, and I've certainly seen this whilst I have been in the gym on that one time that I've been there, that I can just see people are doing exercises wrong and they're lifting weights wrong, and potentially they're going to be doing themselves more harm than good. And this is the worry that I have with these kind of gym memberships for you listening, is that, with all the goodwill in the world and as affordable and accessible these kind of things are you going to get what you need? Or is it just going to be one of those things where you maybe sort of go every so often because, you're paying out the money? Are you actually going to get like the best value for money? Or would you be better off spending that money elsewhere? Maybe that £35-40 a month might be better just spending it like once a month to hire like a personal trainer or something. Someone who is going to give you a workout program for a week, for a month, and you can check back with them and then maybe, redo those exercises, get them to set you up a workout program or something that you could do at home. and then you come back to them in a month and you go through and you do some more, workouts with them. And that's certainly something that I've done as a personal trainer in the past, is I've given people that kind of option where you're sort of spending maybe like £40-50 a month on a PT session with me, but I'm going to ask you to commit to doing that for a year. So you're going to spend that money every month, and I'm going to write you a personalized program every month that you follow for a month, and then we come back, we review it, and then I set you another one. But you commit to doing that for like 6 months and to a year. And I reckon that you would be more consistent doing that than spending that kind of money on a gym membership and not really kind of knowing what you're doing, or potentially having to pay an additional cost to have a service like the one that I use, like Body, which is like on-demand workouts, or if you're using like Les Mills or Peloton, for example. Okay, let's talk about the next thing, about whether or not you should be signing up for a gym or whether you should be working out from home. And I think the next thing really is down to time. And I know you're busy, you probably work, you're probably looking after kids, you've probably got a lot on your plate. And I think a gym membership can be a really positive thing if you are a busy parent going somewhere that is out of your house, away from, all the demands that come from everybody in your family in some form or another. Going and having some kind of headspace like that in a gym, I think, is really, really valuable. Having your own space, being in a fun, supportive environment, going to a fitness class every week where you hang out with your buddies, I think that can be so, so valuable for your mental health as well as your physical health. But I think the downside of this situation is the actual reality of you going. Like, you may have the best intentions in the world, but you're going to have to probably be considering, what's happening with the kids when you're not there. How are you going to fit it into your daily routine when you have to drive maybe like 10-15 minutes to actually get to the gym? Are you going to do that? And I think that's obviously only a question you can ask yourself. Versus if you have like an on-demand program, I personally find that I am more consistent with that, because I just literally have to put my clothes on and go downstairs, or you can do it in your bedroom, and do that workout. And this is one of the reasons why I was really thinking about getting a Peloton, because I have an on-demand membership with Body, which I really, really love, and I use it like every single day, and I have used it now, like since it was before COVID, so probably the best part of like 5 years now I've had that membership, and I've been consistent with that, and I've shown up and I've done those workouts. But I love cycling, and this is one of the reasons why I do join fitness classes, is so that I can do the cycle classes, because quite frankly, the weather here in the UK is pretty awful for about 9 months of the year, and the roads can be quite dangerous. And as much as I love riding on the roads, like, it's really challenging when it comes to the weather, getting outdoors, that kind of thing. So I think this is where you need to ask yourself is, like for me, I was thinking about getting the Peloton because I know that I'm consistent with my workouts every day. And I know that it would be quite easy for me to go downstairs, jump on a bike, do a spin workout, go and have a shower, and then I'm done and I'm ready to get on with my day. And I don't even need to worry about Chloe, where she is, what she's doing, because she's in the house, or if she's at school or whatever, I can do it sort of, as I'm having a break in my day or something. So I think this is a question you need to ask yourself is, do you have the time to go to the gym? Are you going to commit to making that a priority in your schedule? Can you do that in the stage of life that you're in? Now, I mean, if you've got older kids and they're more independent and, they kind of don't want to hang out with you, then, it's a good thing for you to be doing to get out the house and, let them kind of get on with things. But I think if you've got young children, that challenge of getting out the house is quite demanding. And also if you have a job, perhaps you have a job and you've got a gym that's on the way home or on the way to work, then you are probably more likely to go. Before I had Chloe and when I was teaching, I had a gym that was on the way to work, and I'd be in there at like 6 o'clock in the morning as the doors opened, and I'd do my workout and I'd get dressed and get changed and go into school, or I'd go after school on my way home. So it's that kind of like convenience thing. Is it close enough that it's going to be convenient? And ask yourself, are you going to make the time? Are you going to prioritize that and actually give yourself the time to do that? Now, if any of you do have a Peloton or a bike at home, I would love to know what you use, if you recommend something. My email is in the show notes. I'm really kind of like seriously looking into this at the moment. Like I said, I have joined the gym, and the reason I did that was because that was the cheaper option than investing in a Peloton. I've had the membership a week. I've been once, and I'm kind of a bit like, I'm not really that keen on the actual gym and the environment, so I'm not really sure how much I'm going to use it. So I'm going to give it a couple more months, but I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Now, the third thing I think you should consider when you are thinking about the gym as your option for increasing like the exercise and your activity levels is, do you actually need a gym membership to improve your fitness? And the reason I say this is because one of the things I love to talk about on this podcast is like really getting back to basics and making life like less complicated, making our lives more simple. And we've got to remember, like, gyms, health clubs, they're massive businesses. You know, these companies make huge amounts of profits. And one of the reasons why they make so much profit is because so many of us sign up for a gym membership and we don't actually go, and then we don't cancel it and we just kind of like let it slide. So I think the question you should also ask yourself is, do you need a gym membership? Because we've touched on the can you afford it? And we've also thought about the have you got the time for it as well. And I think the underlying question you also need to ask yourself is, do you need it? Like, what are your fitness goals? And is a gym membership actually going to be the thing that helps you to achieve those goals? Now, here's an example. If you're a busy mum and you are thinking that you want to lose some weight, I wonder whether or not actually going to the gym is the most beneficial thing for you. And I wonder whether you actually need a gym membership to achieve that particular goal. Because in my opinion, you don't. And as a personal trainer, like, I have never trained any of the clients that I have worked with in the gym. Everything that I have done with my clients has always been home-based or outdoors in a park. And the reason for that is because of the people that I work with. People like you, people like me, busy mums, and for many of us, like, our goal is to, to be fitter, to be healthier, to lose weight. Now, I think gym membership is important if your goal is to, lift a certain weight, like maybe you want to lift really heavy. It's unlikely that you're going to have the kit at home to be able to support that. So that's where, a gym membership comes into play, is because they have the equipment and the kit for if you want to take part in a specific activity. So like for me, I've been talking about like cycling and spinning and Pelotons and things. Like for me, one of the big draws of having a gym membership is to be able to get on a good quality bike and indoors with, like some kind of screen, and have a really good, like, impactful cycling workout. And the reason I do that is because the weather in the UK is pretty bad most of the time. And I'm not going to be able to do that on my bike around where I live. So this is the question you need to ask yourself is, do you need the equipment, the facilities, maybe like a swimming pool, to achieve the goal that you have. Because I would challenge you actually that if your goal is, you want to improve your movement, maybe you want to lose some weight, I would really say that you could probably quite easily do that yourself at home and probably be more consistent with it by tweaking your routine, the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. You're probably going to be more consistent with that additional movement, walking at lunchtime, walking to work, taking the dog out for an extra walk, like that kind of thing. You're probably going to be more consistent with that than you are with actually going to the gym. Now, I am also a huge advocate for online workout streaming platforms as well, because I get that not everybody can afford a personal trainer. And this is why I've used the body programs for over 5 years now, is that those workouts are really varied, they're really interesting. You can find a workout for like all sorts of different like goals, all sorts of different fitness levels, the type of exercise that you do and don't like. You really have an awful lot of options with those kind of streaming platforms, and they don't cost you a lot of money. The one that I'm using at the moment, you can get like 2 years for the price of one, and it just means it's incredibly convenient. You can I've taken my workouts on my holidays. We're going to be going on holiday very soon on a cruise, and I know that there is a gym on the cruise ship. So I'm going to be downloading my workouts, and I'm going to be taking those workouts with me and doing them in the gym on the cruise ship. And I think this is what it comes down to. When it comes to our health, our fitness, the key thing is the consistency. Like, what are you going to be the most consistent with? If you feel that you're going to be able to get to the gym on a regular basis and you're going to be consistent with that because, you've signed up to a particular exercise class and you love the instructor and you love the environment and you go and hang out with friends there, then you do that. But if you don't feel that you're going to be consistent with the gym and you're going to struggle to find the time to get there and you're really busy and you don't know who's going to look after your kids, then I think actually working out at home is going to be a better option for you. And you're going to get more from your money by, perhaps signing up to an on-demand program, or as I suggested, like getting a monthly session with a personal trainer like myself. And, whether that's like in person or you could do it virtually with me, for example, and having a workout plan that you stick to for a month that you can do in the comfort of your own home or in your local park while your kids are on the slides or whatever. And if you know that you're going to be more consistent with that sort of program and routine, then that's going to be the best option for you. And ultimately, we're all trying to improve our fitness. So many of us are trying to, shift a few additional pounds that we have gained through the wonder of menopause and hormones and things like that. But I think we just need to keep it simple. I think we need to stop overcomplicating things and actually just think about, what are you going to do? What are you actually going to do, and what are you going to be consistent with? Because if you end up signing up for a gym membership and you don't go, that's just another stick to beat yourself with. And that's going to be completely counterproductive because you're going to feel bad that you're not going, and then you're going to feel like a failure. So have a real think about what is it that you're going to be consistent with. And if that's gym membership, then great. I absolutely, you go for it, my friend. But if you're not sure that that's the right option and you quite like the sound of my idea of having a 1-to-1 hour with me every month where you are given a personalized workout and you go away and you do that workout maybe 3 times a week over the month, and then you come back and you check in with me and we do another workout, then go and book yourself a power hour. The link to that is in my show notes. I'm going to send you a bit of a questionnaire beforehand, we'll jump on a call and we will go through, and by the end of the call I'll have a really, really good idea of your fitness and your goals and things like that, and I will go away and write up a personalized workout for you to do for about a month, and then you can come back and check in with me and go through the process again. And we can work that workout depending on whether or not you are working out from home or whether you are doing something from the gym. And I will also cover some basic technique and some basic skills with you as well to make sure that you're doing the exercises correctly. As well as the 1-to-1 hour with me and the personalized workout, you're also going to get access to my 2 digital planners. You've heard me talk about the Rest Fuel Move 90-day fitness planner. So you're going to get access to that. And you'll also get a digital download of my She Rises planner, which is a planner that helps you go more into detail on your day-to-day sort of, like what's going on in your schedule, keeping track. It's like your day-to-day diary. So you're going to get a fitness planner and also a diary as well. So, my friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you go to the gym? Are you a gym lover? Do you struggle to be consistent with the gym? Are you somebody who works out at home? What do you do? Tell me all the things. And if you have a recommendation for a bike like a Peloton or that kind of thing, I would absolutely love to hear from you as well. Now go grab that Power Hour, get those 2 digital download planners, and we're going to get those goals smashed over the coming months. Have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode.